Have you ever wondered which grenade you should be using? Why am I talking like I'm advertising this shit? What up, you fluffy bastards? My name is Liquid Blitz, and today we're going to cover everything you could possibly ever need to know about grenades. I'm going to go through every grenade one by one, bringing you the basic information, number one. And number two, I'm going to bring my opinion about when each grenade is best used, the situations where that grenade has a specific strength over all the other ones. Firstly, the main chunk of this video is going to be about the regular grenades, the ones that are available to all classes. And then afterwards, I'll quickly cover the ones that are class-specific. I would just like to interject the fact that sorry if my voice sounds a bit shit today, I've got a cold, but that's not going to stop me from bringing dem facts! Alright, let's kick off the list with the non-explosive grenades, the gas, the smoke, and the fire. Firstly, we have the Incendiary Grenade. Now, you want to get one of these, and I'm saying it does 40 plus damage minimum. Officially, I think people say it does 30 minimum, but I've done I've done a load of tests where I've literally thrown it at my feet on full health, and I've skimmed the edge of the fire and gone prone instantly, just to see how quickly I can reduce the damage. And it always does over 40 damage to me, so I don't know why people are saying it does 30 damage minimum. In my opinion, it does 40 damage minimum, so I'm saying 40. It obstructs enemy movement and your own movement excellently. Better than any other grenade, it obstructs movement. And it obstructs the view slightly. And something that not everyone knows, I didn't know. The fuck is that? Right, sorry, that was just my phone going. What the hell was I saying? Oh yeah, something that not everyone knows is the Incendiary Grenade damages vehicles, and especially if it's a vehicle with sort of people exposed, it does even more damage. That being said, there are far greater ways to damage vehicles, so don't equip a fire grenade for that purpose. Now, best usage. As I just said, the main strength for this really is to obstruct enemy movement, and this is best used when you're like when you're capping a flag and you're trying to defend it. Maybe throw it down on the corridor where you think the enemies are going to run down and they can't run through it, else they'll burn. So it's best used for defending objectives, or perhaps blocking the most direct way. If you're playing war pigeons, if your team has the pigeon, and the main way to you for the enemies is through a corridor, throw it down and they can't get through. So that's the greatest strength for the Incendiary Grenade. Next on the list is gas grenades. Now, you either love them or you hate them. Gas, when you throw gas down especially on unsuspecting enemies, it almost always ticks at least twice. It does 15 damage per tick, and it usually hits twice on an unsuspecting enemy, so let's just say it does a 30 damage minimum. And as with fire, it obstructs the enemies and your view slightly. Now, the gas grenade, the gas lasts for 22 seconds, but in the upcoming February 2017 update, it's being reduced to 15 seconds. So, well, unless you're watching this video in, 2025, in that case, just ignore what I'm saying. But yeah, it's going to last 15 seconds. Also, in the same update, somebody told me in one of my comments that the gas grenade is about to be limited to only the support class, which that would be a major deal. But I've researched everywhere, everywhere there's sort of information to do with the patch, and I haven't found a single shred of evidence that that's happening. So, again, if you're watching this before the patch, then it's interesting. But if you're watching this after, you will already know if it's limited to the support class. So, if it is, that's a major deal. Now, in my opinion, in my experience, and I have a lot of gas grenade experience, it's best used to force enemy hipfire, or basically force your enemy to be less accurate. And sort of hand in hand with that, it's best used when you are using a trench weapon for the hipfire, which means that if you put a gas mask on and run through your own gas, you don't lose any accuracy because you're hipfiring anyway. I could sit here all day talking about gas grenades because a lot of people hate gas grenades, especially sort of teammates who throw gas grenades all over an objective and it just pisses the teammates off because they can't aim accurately. Anyway, before I make too many people angry about the gas grenade, let's move on to the smoke grenade. Now, the smoke grenade, like the gas and fire obstruct your view a little bit, more importantly the enemy's view, but the smoke grenade blocks their view completely. And it also prevents spotting. Still, not everyone knows that, but smoke grenades prevent people spotting you, which is awesome. Now, smoke grenades in my opinion, have a lot of best usage scenarios. First of all, the most obvious one is the smoke grenade is best used when you're in large, open, outside environments where you've got little to no cover, for the obvious reason that it gives you some cover. It's also, and a lot of people don't utilize this strength, it's also best used, in my opinion, for hiding yourself when you're getting close quarters. This is particularly important if you're using like a shotgun or a trench SMG. It's excellent for hiding yourself until you're right in the face of an enemy and you just one-shot them if you're using a shotgun. And that's a major strength that not many people utilize. The third sort of best usage scenario that I've thought of is it's good for flushing enemies out. Like, if you throw a smoke grenade into a building full of enemies, no one likes being blind. If someone throws a smoke grenade at your feet, the logic behind this, I think, is that if you get a smoke grenade at your feet, you don't want to be blind. So naturally, people tend to sort of run out of the smoke so they can see again. And hopefully, with any sort of decent planning or a decent smoke grenade, they'll run right into your sights. And that's a good best usage scenario. Now let's move on to explosive grenades, the fun, blunt force trauma shrapnel motherfuckers. First of all, we have the good old frag grenade. Everyone loves a good old frag grenade. Now, it goes without saying that the frag grenade does fatal damage to an infantry. It can kill a full health infantry if it drops at his feet. It also does a small amount of damage to vehicles, but not much. Now, an important point to make is, in Battlefield 1 specifically, the frag grenade cannot be cooked or timed. Like, you can't pull the pin out, wait 3 seconds, and then throw it so it blows up immediately. And this is unique of Battlefield 1. This wasn't, like, in all previous Battlefield games, you can cook the grenade. I suppose, thinking about it, that's why they added the impact grenade, which I'll talk about in a minute, because that does explode immediately, and that's sort of the point of cooking a frag grenade. So yeah, you can't do that in Battlefield 1, which is interesting. So yeah, the way it works is, frag grenades in this game only explode after they've settled on a horizontal surface. The same like gas and fire, they are the same thing. They'll only explode once they've hit a surface. Now, best usage scenario for frag grenade. What can you say? I mean, the frag grenade is basically an all-rounder for almost any situation. You can't go wrong with a frag grenade or a smoke grenade. I prefer smoke, but they're the two sort of main grenades that you can use in almost any situation for some sort of benefit. So if you're the sort of person that really can't be arsed spending time worrying about which grenade to pick the frag, to be honest, or the smoke, because you can't really go wrong. Just throw them towards the enemy and hope for the best. Next on the list is the mini grenade. Now, you get two of these, and obviously, being mini, they do a lot less damage than the frag grenade. So I don't think they can, even if it drops at your feet, I don't think it can kill in one. So let's just say it does medium damage to infantry. Now, the whole point of the mini grenades is you get a much longer throw. Because it's mini, it's lighter, so you get a longer throw. That's sort of the whole point of this grenade. Now, obviously, this is sort of only useful when throwing accuracy or range is important. For example, if you're the sort of person who likes throwing grenades in windows, but you sometimes struggle and hit the outside of the window, mini grenades are great because you sort of aim at the window and it goes so far that you all you have to do is look at the window and it goes straight in. Unlike frag grenades, which obviously have a much larger arc. So if you need to throw it in windows, for example, I mean, that's probably the best usage scenario. Or perhaps you're out in the open. There are some game modes where you sort of like get trapped behind cover and you just can't advance to the objective because there's like a wall of sniper fire. The mini grenade's actually quite good for sort of flushing out snipers or distracting them long enough for you to run forward to cover to get closer to the objective. Now, as I've just sort of alluded to, my opinion is this grenade is shit. I hate the mini grenades. There's no point. Unless your accuracy at throwing grenades is total shit, then I would advise you sort of avoid this grenade. Most, if not all of the other grenades, give you better benefits. They outweigh the benefits of this grenade massively. Now let's move on to impact grenades, which I mentioned briefly before. You only get one of these, like the frag grenade. You only get one. And it does less damage. Like, I didn't know, I couldn't find out anywhere in the research for this video how much damage it did, if it did the same or less than the frag grenade. And I basically realised it must do less damage than the frag because the payoff is it explodes instantly, so it must have a negative effect, and that has to be less damage. And it's correct, it did. I found out now it used to do 80 damage maximum, so it couldn't kill a full health enemy anyway. But in the February patch, which, again, if you're watching this after February, it's already happened, but the damage has been reduced from 80 to 72, so it now does even less damage. I'm going to give you my personal opinion. I hate this grenade. In recording footage for this, I couldn't get any kills with it. I don't know if I'm just shit, but it never killed anyone because of the fact it does less damage. So I would avoid this grenade, but that's my personal opinion. But I've promised you a best usage scenario for every grenade. So Best usage for using the impact grenade, I would say, is for moving enemies. Enemies that are running. If you throw an impact grenade, instantly explode. So that's useful. But it's best for like what I'm going to call an oh shit situation. So if somebody runs around the corner at you and you're mid reload, this is particularly important, I would say, for stationary classes like suppressive LMGs with a bipolar or simply a sniper. I suppose in that situation, impact grenade can be useful because it gives you a large-ish amount of damage instantly to defend yourself. That being said, after the damage reduction in the update, I'm literally never going to use this grenade again. I don't like it. There are far better ways to defend yourself, even for stationary classes like snipers, things like trip mines and so on, so I would just avoid this. Frag, gas and smoke are all more useful, frankly. Next on the list we have the light anti-tank grenade. Now this, you get one of these, but you get two if you're the cavalry class, so that's something. They do medium damage to vehicles, they do a little bit of damage, and they do small damage for infantry, small damage to infantry. Now, best usage scenario for the light anti-tank. Some people love the light anti-tank grenade, but others avoid it like a leper colony, and I'm one of those. I think this grenade is best used if you want to absolutely maximise the amount of damage you're doing against vehicles, especially for the assault class. If you've got the regular anti-tank grenade and maybe the anti-tank rocket gun, if you want to absolutely maximise the damage you do against vehicles, put this on as well, so then you've got basically damage against vehicles in every slot of your equipment. But I personally think that other grades are more useful, even when fighting vehicles. For example, just throw a smoke grenade down and you can get right up close to a vehicle. And when you do that, you can use your limpet charge, dynamite. I mean, seriously, I don't like the light anti-tank grenade. It's just, I think it's a waste of a slot, personally. So yeah, I would only use that if you want to maximise your vehicle capabilities. Or maybe just to sort of scare vehicles away. I suppose that's a use for it. And finally, that's all the sort of regular grenades available to all your classes. Let's move on to equipment-based grenades, class-specific ones. First of all, we have the anti-tank grenade, the regular big anti-tank grenade for the assault class. Now, I love this thing. I use it on every assault class. It does large damage to vehicles, massive damage to vehicles, and something people don't realise, it does large or maybe medium, but I'm going to say large damage to infantry as well. I've thrown this into nests of enemies and got multiple kills, which you can do that with a frag grenade as well, but this is just an extra use for the vehicle grenade. So large to vehicles, large to infantry. It detonates immediately upon contact with a vehicle. It doesn't if you just like throw it at the ground, like pretending it's a regular grenade. It doesn't blow up immediately then, only if you hit a vehicle with it. And that's actually a really big strength. I think the same goes with I should have pointed out, the same goes with the light anti-tank grenade. That explodes immediately as well upon vehicles. That's a strength I should have mentioned, really. I just shit all over the light anti-tank grenade. But yeah, that's one strength for it. And it's a good strength as well. There's nothing worse than like throwing a frag grenade at a tank and it just drives away and you look like a knob. And I should point out, you get two anti-tank grenades. Anyway, moving on. Next is the rifle sort of underbarrel for the medic class. Now with the rifle grenades, you spawn in with 3 grenades, which is unique among all the grenades. There are 3 kinds of rounds you can choose for either the frag, which is just your typical explosive. Then you've got HE, high explosive, which has a larger radius, but it does less damage to infantry. So higher radius, less damage to infantry, but it does more damage, I think, to vehicles. And the third is smoke, which is always useful. And I will point out, for the high explosive round, if you're playing the medic class, to be honest, you shouldn't be anywhere near a vehicle, so I would avoid the HE round. And I'd recommend either the frag or the smoke, depending on which you prefer, which sort of like complements your playstyle. I will note that the smoke variety is actually great for covering yourself when you're reviving teammates. That being said, personally, I've got to say, I prefer to heal and revive, which leaves no equipment slot for the rifle grenade, so that's my 2 cents. Obviously, it's worth saying that the rifle grenades for this medic class, they do, like the frag version, it does less damage than a regular frag grenade, and the smoke, I think, is a smaller area than the regular smoke grenade. I think. And perhaps uniquely, maybe not, but perhaps uniquely, it detonates either after settling on a surface like most of the grenades, or after 5 seconds, whichever comes first. Now finally, the last type of grenade, if you can call it that in the game, is the Crossbow Launcher, which I find really fun to use myself. It's for the support class, and you spawn with 2. I think you spawn with 2 grenades, but a point that I will make for that is it's infinite ammo. It actually, like the mortar, it restocks itself automatically every 15 seconds. So you actually have infinite grenades with the Crossbow Launcher, which is kind of, is kind of overpowered when you think about it. So yeah, obviously I can't hide the fact that I actually really like the Crossbow Launcher. On most of my support classes now, I have the ammo pack, or ammo crate, I prefer the pack, and the Crossbow Launcher, because it's just fun to use. Well, now you've got all my best usage scenarios. I mean, let's conclude. I mean, after testing all of these grenades pretty relentlessly for this video, and seriously, for this preparation of this video, I've spent 2 days just endlessly using grenades. With a support class, of course, so I've got infinite grenades. It's been annoying. It's been a nightmare. And basically, my only conclusion is that the only grenades really that seem worth using are gas and smoke. And if you prefer straight-up damage, then frag. So gas, smoke, and frag, basically, is my recommendation, depending on which sort of complements your playstyle the most. I know most people will hate what I'm about to say, but up until sort of like a week ago, I almost exclusively used gas grenades on every single class, until I learned all the many benefits of the smoke grenade, and now I've switched all my classes to the smoke grenade, because it's useful in so many different ways. I mean, I've given you, I think I said 3 different sort of best usage scenarios for the smoke, but there are more uses, many more uses. So smoke is my honest number 1 recommendation. If you can't decide, go with a smoke, and just because you get 2 of the things, and if you're a support, you get infinite ones, and you can just throw smoke everywhere, man. Smoking is cool. Edit that shit out. And also to cement my own personal change from gas to smoke, they've just reduced the gas, as I said, the duration of gas from 22 seconds to 15 seconds. And I think that goes with like mortar trucks as well that can fire gas. Anything that can fire gas, I think, has been reduced from 22 seconds to 15, that is a big deal. That's 7 seconds of damage gone. So now I'm definitely sticking to the smoke grenade. So yeah, that's it. I love me a good smoke grenade. That's my number 1 favourite, and I do honestly want to know what your favourite is as well, because lots of people use the grenades in different, unique, imaginative ways. So let me know which is your favourite. Like this video if you liked it, like this video if you didn't like it, and join me in my next video. The next one is almost certainly going to be my next superclass video, and it's going to be the medic class. It's going to be a medic class, I think. Yes, medic class, yes, medic. And let's be honest, that's kind of the whole thing, you know, that's the crux of the issue. If it's more predictable, then you can be more accurate. It's as simple as that. So, does it make the weapon more accurate? Technically, no. But it makes it more predictable, which makes you more accurate. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to get across. I'm talking serious, man. I'm so serious all the time.